Hey YouTube, this is Jaden Storm, Convention Team Shadowstrike, and this is going to be another Q&A video. So, thank you to everyone who posted questions again, so let's get right into this. Okay, first question, actually two questions from Bob Smith. One, what is and where was the best donut you ever had? I grew up in a little shitty town, and my grandfather, and still does, owns a construction business. And, here's the construction business, here's the road, and there's this building. And by building, I mean, like, somewhere you think Jigsaw would take his capturees and take them in there and make them do a sick, twisted game and a lot of blood and gore. I mean, literally, this building looks like shit. But inside this shithole was the best fucking donut shop. And, you know, the guy unfortunately had to close down just because he got too old and it was hard for him to do it anymore. His name was Mike, and he was just the nicest guy. And he made the best fucking donuts. And we're not talking like $1, $2. We're talking 15 cents, 35 cents. We're talking low prices. This guy did this because he enjoyed it. I mean, there was like a group of old men in there every day that would meet up for their coffee and have donuts. I mean, it was like, it was the most sociable shithole I've ever seen in my life, because that's where people went. And now, don't get me wrong, when I say shithole, I'm not saying you literally walked in the door and there were rats and cockroaches everywhere. I mean, he kept it as neat and clean as he possibly could, but the chairs, the tables, the counter, I mean, it was clear this building needed to, if it was ever going to become, you know, I guess if he ever decided to get more business, he would have to do a lot of work to it. But anyway, I mean, because to be real honest, you didn't even know it was a donut shop unless someone told you it was, because the donut sign eventually just didn't work anymore. But I would literally go to this donut shop usually about every other day, and I had first hour economics in my junior year, and then my senior year, I took it again, but I was my teacher's aide first hour, so I was in that economics class, even though I technically, since I was his aide, I wasn't in the class, but I was in there. And normally, and I don't know why he asked me to be his aide on first hour, because he never had me do anything except maybe copy some worksheets for his other classes. But I remember once my junior year, I went up to him and I said, hey, and he was also my football coach, and I said, hey coach, can I go get donuts for all of us? Because there was only like 8 of us in this class. And he was like, you're asking me if you can leave school, which is against the rules, and go get donuts. And I'm not going to use his name because, well, he couldn't get in trouble anyway. But anyway, he said, I'm going to get up and walk out of this room. And he said, I'm not going to know where you go. So he literally just got up and walked out. There was a door right outside his classroom, and you could walk around the school. I just had to be very careful when crossing the windows outside teachers' windows. Got my car, and literally the donut shop was like a left turn and like 1,000 yards down the road. So I literally just hung that left, drove down the road, pulled in, and I got like, I don't remember how much, but I got enough donuts for me, my 7 other classmates, and my teacher for like $6. And guys, we're talking 2 giant boxes. I mean, I told him I was just taking donuts to my class. He was like, oh, I got lots. Here, have 2 dozen glaze. Have some chocolate Long Johns. And the only instruction I got from my coach was, if you do go wherever, there better be chocolate Long Johns. So, okay. So when we got there, I was just like, okay, guys, don't touch the chocolate Long Johns. But best donuts I've ever had. Now, don't get me wrong, there's another donut shop about 15 minutes away. They're okay, but I'm sorry. Those were the best donuts ever. And then the second question from Bob Smith is, what is and where was the best steak you ever had? Well, I'm very picky about my steak, like very picky. It has to be cooked right. It has to be seasoned right. I make a pretty mean steak, not to brag, but I think the best steak I've ever had, there's a tie. last team league, me and my teammates, we went to a place called Saltgrass Steakhouse in Houston, Texas, and that was amazing. True, I spent probably $52 on dinner, but it was probably the best steak. Amazing. It was a New York strip, I believe I had, and it was, I think, a 16-ounce steak, and it was the best steak. I had it with like a baked potato and I think steamed vegetables, and I had a Caesar salad with it, and I had like 2 or 3 drinks from the bar. But it was a very, very good steak. I mean, very good steak. The second best steak, that's tough. I think the second best would have to be probably one that I've made, and because there is a butcher who's, I think he lives in Oklahoma City, and I was there with my grandfather doing some business, and I asked him if we could stop by that meat butcher, and he said, because this place supposedly has the best steak, and I went in there, and this guy looked like something out of a horror movie. He's very homely looking. He was wearing this white apron, and it was more red than white. There was blood all over it. And he comes out of the back with the biggest meat cutter I've ever seen in my fucking life in his hand. And he comes up and goes, "What can I do for you?" And I was just like, "Just please don't kill me." And he was like, and I started looking at like his menu and goes, "What? What do you want?" And I was like, "I hear you have like the best steak ever." And he's like, "You damn right I do. You want some?" And I said, "Yes, please. Can I have," I think I ended up buying like 6 because I was having my grandparents over and my mother. And I spent probably, well, my grandfather helped me out, so I didn't spend all of it. But I spent probably, well, he paid me back technically, but I think I ended up spending like $140 on these steaks. I mean, they were some thick fucking steaks. I mean, we're talking this thick. And I took them home, I seasoned them right, and I grilled them, and it was pretty amazing. So, I have no idea what that place was called. So, I mean, because I've only been there once. But, okay, next question comes from Dan0940. Is it true that Overlord is getting more support? I'm sure he is. Overlord is very popular. I mean, I'm hoping he gets more support, obviously, but I will admit, if you watch the one episode where Chrono and, what's that girl's name? Tokaha is sitting in that diner, and she's helping him practice for all those Vanguard tests that he had to take to get to grade 3. And he goes, "There's too many Overlords." I lost my shit, guys. That was pretty freaking funny. So I hope Overlord will be getting more support. I'm pretty sure he'll probably get a G unit in the Stride in Fighters Collection 2015, or if not in Fighters Collection 2015, he'll get one eventually. I'm also holding out that after the Ren trial, the legendary Ren deck will come out. Eventually, there will be a legendary Kai deck, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Next question comes from Forrest Jones. How often will you do contests? I'm gonna do contests again. The reason I haven't done them is because I'm still making sure that this timetable that I'm making videos for you guys is gonna work. I had to slow down a little bit on my buying after my grandma's funeral because I had to get everything back in order after all that happened. I'm going to do contests again. I'm going to try, so please do not hold me to this. I'm going to try to buy a box of set G2 and do a contest giveaway for that. That is my plan at the moment, but that is going to be that will have to happen after Team League because right now I'm saving up for Team League. So I'm hoping that's going to happen, guys. So just keep your fingers crossed on that. Because I haven't done a contest in a while and I really want to do one. I just haven't had the time and funds to do it. But that's my plan right now is to do a box giveaway of G2. So I will keep you guys updated on that. Next question comes from Dawson Sumlock. I hope I pronounced that right. If I don't pronounce your name right, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick. I sometimes I'm terrible at trying to pronounce a name, so I apologize. So Dawson Sumlock. Hope I pronounced that right. What do you think of Aquaforce? I like Aquaforce. I've liked Aquaforce since they were introduced in season 2. Um, I think it was like episode 65, something like that. No, 65 was the last episode of season 1. Okay, I don't remember what episode it was, but I like Aquaforce. They're finally going to get more support and actually be relevant up as far as tier 1 meta again. In G2, they get Lambros, they just get a lot, and the new trial deck was recently released too, so they're finally starting to become relevant again, and it's nice to see. The Aquaforce clan, there's a lot of power behind it. So, Aquaforce is back. It's been I'd say a solid tier 2 deck for a while now, ever since, the original Maelstrom deck kind of fell out of, favor, but now it's back with a vengeance, and, because even Tetra Drive, when Tetra Drive first came out, I thought it was a solid tier 1.5 deck. But I think the Lambros deck is finally going to give them back their tier 1 status, and it's long overdue, and it's nice to see. The next question comes from Shadow Ryu 01. Hey Jaden, love your videos. It's very helpful, and I try to use your advice, so I was wondering what you thought about Cosmic Heroes, the new sub-clan of Dimensional Police, and would you make me a deck profile on it? Mahalo, thanks from Hawaii. First off, you lucky bastard, you live in Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii like 4 or 5 times. I went there for Christmas, I think 3 years ago. It is the most beautiful state. Shadow Ryu 01, the next time I'm in Hawaii, I will let you know, so maybe we can hang out. But I love Hawaii. I stayed at this hotel. I don't remember what its name was, but it was like right on the beach, and they brought me up this fruit plate once for one of my breakfast one morning, and it had like one of my favorite fruit is fresh pineapple. And it was the best fucking pineapple I ever had in my life. So I cannot wait to go back to Hawaii. So Shadow Ryu 01, thank you very much. I love Hawaii. Now I want to go back to Hawaii. But if I'm ever in Hawaii, I'll let you know. I'm probably gonna build Cosmic Heroes, or at least some form of them. I haven't really decided yet. Christian, my teammate, Shadow Ryu, he's the Dimensional Police player on my team. Dimensional Police to me is just a clan I play for fun. But when Christian gets his done, I will have him posted on here for you guys. I'm gonna do Cosmic Heroes probably eventually, but I can't guarantee you when. As far as what I think of them, they're pretty broke. There's a lot of power behind them. They're probably more powerful than Dimensional Robos are. And that's a pretty bold statement ever since True Kaiser. But, the Cosmic Heroes, they have a lot of things going for them. So, Shadow Ryu 01, there will be a deck profile of Cosmic Heroes on my channel eventually. I can't guarantee you when, but I will do one eventually. Whether that'll probably be Christian before me, but I think they're really good. I think Cosmic Heroes are probably tier 1. Okay, let me rephrase that. I think they're a tier 1.5 deck, honestly, but I think if the right players use them, then they become tier 1. They're one of those decks that it depends on how you pilot the deck. But I think that could be said essentially about every clan out there. But they are very good. They're definitely tier 1, 1.5 status. They are really good. They have a lot of power behind them, and they have a lot of draw power too. So it has potential to do something very big in the meta. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But Shadow Ryu 01, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Cosmic Heroes do. So, and also enjoy Hawaii. God, you do not understand how envious I am of that. I love Hawaii. Like I said, I've been there 3 times, and I love it. It's beautiful, beautiful. And I gotta say, I'm assuming you're Hawaiian. This is going to sound bad at first, but Hawaiians, the natives, they are... Actually, that didn't sound bad at all. I'm really proud of myself. I was able to think of a good way to say that. They are some of the most hospitable, friendliest people I've ever met in my life. I've been to France; those people are assholes. I've been to Italy; they're really polite, but Hawaiians, they are the most polite people I've ever met. Team Hawaii over here. So thank you very much, Shadow Revo One. Next question comes from Connor Bennett. Hey Jaden, what do you think of grade threes in Stride format? I.e., how many you should be running? Is it totally necessary to run 8 grade threes plus 4 Stride enablers, i.e., grade ones with +2 for their effect, or does it depend on on a certain deck? I've dropped my grade threes down to 7, but also have 4 Stride enablers. What are your thoughts? Well, Connor, I guess it would depend on the deck. Like for my cross deck, I play 9 grade 3s, but in my Royal Paladin deck, I only play 7. I guess so. Mainly, it depends on the build that you're playing. Now, the Stride enablers, depending on how much you're leaning on your Stride cards or your G units to win you the game, I think that should determine how many Stride enablers you play. For example, for the Royal Paladins, I would definitely max out. For the Oracle Think Tank, I would definitely max out. Things for like extreme battlers, they really don't need their G units to win the game. They have enough power behind them without it. Now, certainly I'm not denying it's not a good advantage, but they may only play maybe 2 or 3, probably closer to 2, it depends on the deck, depending on how many grade 3s you run and how many Stride enablers you run. If you max out on grade 3s and then you cut back on one of your Stride enablers, it depends on the build. But as for the Stride enablers, I would only max out if your G units lead you to, I guess, your winning strategy, But again, it would depend. It would depend specifically on your build and also what kind of deck you're building. It's a good question, but like I said, it would depend on the deck you're trying to play. Excuse me. It would depend on the deck you're trying to play. It would depend on the build. And a lot of it is also personal preference. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it, so I hope I kind of answer your question. I tried to do my best with it, but honestly, as kind of a staple, I would say 8 grade 3s and 3 Stride enablers, and if you're one of those people who play a grade 3 searcher as your starter, then I dare say try 7 grade 3s and 4 Stride enablers. That's also a good idea. But again, deck, build, there's a lot of factors you have to take into that, but as a what do they call it? A template, go with 8 grade 3s and 3 Stride enablers, or 7 grade 3s and 4 Stride enablers, or you can play 8 grade 3s and 4 Stride enablers if you want, but that's just, I guess to give you something to go off of, so I hope that helped. Next question comes from Drygo. Hey Jaden, I have a feeling of what your answer will be, but what's your opinion on Bushiroad loving Kagero too much? Kagero being in almost every box set now, knowing they don't need the support at the moment. Unfortunately, Kagero is one of the big 5, and the big 5, in my opinion, are your Kagero, your Royal Paladin, your Shadow Paladin, your Aquaforce to an extent, but honestly, just the Paladins, the Kagero, there's a very small group, and it seems like for a long time, all they did was boost these clans a lot. Now, they still boost the other clans, but they kept giving more support. The number one way I think of it is the Gold Paladin support. When Ezel came out, and then set 7 Pelennor came out, and then set 8 more stuff, and then set 9 more stuff, and then we got into Liberators, and then we got into the new Liberators with Bluish Flames. I mean, they were a long stretch of support, and Kagero's the same way. I appreciate it because I love playing Kagero decks, but I can understand people who aren't Kagero players why they might get a little upset. I mean, we all have our clans that we like. We all have our clans we don't like. For me, I can't stand Bermuda Triangle. I can't look at it. I hate Bermuda Triangle with a passion. But we all have our opinions. But to be honest, the set 17, the reason it may have came so quick for us is because they had to take 16 and 17, the movie booster, and they kind of had to shove it all at us at once. So I kind of blame some of it on that. Because 16, we didn't get any Kagero support, but in set 17, we got, all the Perdition deck, and then shortly after that, we got into the Cross, and before the Perditions, we had Rebirth. So we kind of had a huge shove of it, all at once. So it probably has a lot to do with that. But I enjoy all the Kagero support, and I'm going to continue to get it. But I can definitely understand, Drago, why some Kagero, the people who don't play Kagero would not like it. I'm not that close-minded. But, I'm not going to say they need more support, but I'm always going to say I'd love more support. But that's the same with anybody in any other clans. I think that's just how it is. But I can certainly this is a good question and definitely worth one that needed to be asked. But Drago, I do feel that maybe sometimes they do overjuice some clans, but in the end, it does even out fairly even enough, But I'm always going to be grateful for new Kagero support because they are my favorite clan. But that I guess I don't make those decisions, but I enjoy Kagero. That's no excuse. That's no secret. But I don't know if Bushiroad loves Kagero. I think they just push it out because they know it will sell. But maybe they do. I don't know. That's just But I guess I'm thankful for it. But do they really need new support? Not really. But I'm always going to be willing to ask. I'm always going to ask for more. Next question is also from Drago. He says, I'm sorry for the second question. Never be sorry for a question, guys. If you really want to leave 2 questions, leave 2 questions. If you want to leave 3 questions, leave 3 questions. If you want to leave 5, leave 5. I don't fucking care. So, Drago, don't be sorry for asking another question. The only question, I love your guys' questions, so please feel free to leave as many or as few as you want. But yeah, what's your opinion on G Booster Set 2 coming on the day before the team tournament? Will it be even possible to get the cards before the tournament? Well, this problem's probably going to be easily solved for us. We're leaving the day the set drops on the 22nd. I think that's right, because then May 23rd is the tournament. If I'd have to get my calendar, but I don't have it in front of me at the moment, guys. Because my teammates and I will be leaving on that Friday. And if we do leave on that Friday, we're going to be leaving somewhere around 9 o'clock and to get to Pasadena, Texas. The owner of our game shop said that she would come down and give us our boxes before they technically even open, which would be on the day they drop, the 22nd. So technically they're not doing anything they shouldn't do, but they would give them to us so we'd at least have our boxes, so maybe we'd get some of the new set support. But then my teammate Ryan said he's probably just going to be ordering a case, and then we can all just pay him back our shares, and and he can order it directly from his locals because he lives in Texas and he'd get it quicker. So that's probably what we're going to do. But as for everyone else, it might be harder, depending on your situation. Because if you pre-order it from a site like Ideal 808 or Big N Collectibles, it may not get to you in time. Because a lot of places, they don't ship the cards out until the day the set releases. So I don't know. I do know a lot of people are mad about this because it means a lot of the support from Set 2 is not going to be able to be used. But for the people who are able to get a hold of it, it's going to be a huge advantage because there are a lot of clans in Set 2 that get a lot of nasty support. Aquaforce, Gear Chronicle, Neo Nectar, Great Nature. There is Narukami. There are a lot of decks in G2. Because in my honest opinion, the Narukami support, the Great Nature support, and the Aquaforce and the Neo Nectar support, those 4 clans right there, that is the biggest. Those 4 clans right there get so much support in this set. It makes all 4 of those decks relevant. So I do have a problem. I am a little pissed that they did do this, but I understand sometimes dates get thrown together like this, and it doesn't fall together at the most prudent time, but it's going to have to be something players are going to have to deal with. You know, and if you are what I call a competitive card fighter, you have to be willing to adjust. So it's going to have to force players to adjust their decks, their strategies, their builds, their team strategy, maybe, you know, deciding what clans to have on a 3-team, but it's gonna make for some interesting card fights. I will admit that. So, and the next and final question, I believe, yep, comes from Umbral Horror 82. What are your thoughts on the new Link Joker Messiah deck coming out soon? Also, thanks for butchering my username. I am sorry. I'm sorry. If I ever mispronounce your name, I'm not doing it just to be an asshole. What are your thoughts on the new Link Joker Messiah deck? I am really excited for it. It looks really cool. It looks like there's going to from the outside and what we've seen so far, it looks like it's going to be very strategic, because you're going to have to learn how to balance locking both sides of the field now. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to be building this deck. You can guarantee that. I am a little pissed that G3 Amnesty Messiah is the generation rare, but I figured they were going to do that, honestly. But we're just going to have to roll with it and just see what happens. But you know, I'm really looking forward to it. I bet that's pretty much all I can say right now, because we really don't have a lot of information. I am pretty happy. Excuse me. I am really happy that the one of the cards that comes in the trial deck, its Generation Break 2 unit, is the same as Chaos Breaker's Limit Break. That is pretty freaking cool. I was really happy about that. The Heartbreaker, you know, for the deck, I'm really excited about that. So that'll be a lot of fun. But we're just gonna have to roll with it, guys, and just see what happens. So I'm really excited for the new Link Joker stuff. I think it's really cool. They shook Link Joker up. I'm glad they just didn't stick with the Starvaders. Now I hope they don't shove Starvaders on the back burner and never use them again. I want to see the Starvaders make a comeback. Maybe a Revival Legion. That'd be really cool. Maybe with Chaos Breaker, that would really, really be cool. But you know, we're just gonna have to play. We're just gonna have to wait and see. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. On my next Q&A, if you have a question, leave it in the comment section below. And next time I do a Q&A, those are the questions I'll answer. You may leave 1, you may leave 2, you may leave 5, you may leave as many as you want, and I will answer any and all questions as best I can. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up this video for me, and I'll see you next time.